Good morning, everyone, and welcome to an early rendition of the Ultra Views here at BC WrestlePod. I am El Jefe, known as Mikey, and joining me this morning is a very special guest who decided to hop onto this one, who I appreciate for wanting to be a part of this. We have one of our AEW co-hosts, Benny, in here, the house to review these Big Gay Brunch UK with me. So, good morning, my friend.
Greetings and salutations, Mikey. And unfortunately, there was no Paro on Effy's Big Gay Brunch UK, so I figured I'd fill out the spare portion of Big Gay Brunch.
Hey, somebody's got to fill it out, and you know what? If it's not me or Paro, it's you, my friend. We're gonna have a great time this morning. But as I mentioned, we are here to review Effy's Big Gay Brunch UK. This is in partnership with TNT Extreme Wrestling, so I was fully going into this outside of Dark Sheet, Effy, and well, a couple other folks. So I was like, I'm gonna be introduced to a lot of characters were introduced.
Definitely.
But I had such a blast with this one. Oh man, we're gonna get into all of it. We're gonna talk about all the matches that happened and the thing, just everything related to this event. But before we do so, the pre-show, if you will, the announcements. If you like what you see here, we would love for you to subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on Twitch or Kick, or follow us on our social medias if that is your preferred choice, where the social medias have our report cards for Effy's Big Gay Brunch UK, as well as the other report cards and previews for the weekly shows that we put on social media. Or at least I try to, because there's a lot of wrestling going on, especially now in the fall, which is about to get crazier this upcoming week. But I digress. But we also have some merchandise available for purchase as well, which has charity tie-ins to everything we do. So we have, of course, review merch for all of our teams here at BC WrestlePod. We have our 365 Days a Year Pride collection. We also just dropped our newest collections for limited time this fall, which, if I do say so myself, they're really, really fun stuff and it's fantastic. So that includes some of our, limited editions, which includes our fall collection, which is very, very nice. Our Pumpkin Suplex Latte collection. Just in time for Latino Heritage Month is our Festival of Lucha collection. And dropping earlier this week, just in time for the spoopy season, we have our, we have our Botox Skeletor collection, which is, a joke of the WWE crew of why this design came to be. But we are also taking homage to Grindhouse and like style and film. And then, of course, just for a little bit for on the more lighter side, we have our Monster Mash Monsters of the Mat collection. And like I said, all these new designs have tie-in to charities. You can find all that information out at our, shop, which is at bcwrestlepodshop.fourthwall.com. Link in the description of this video and in the chat as well, so you can take, a look at it and get yourself something nice in the process. Alrighty. Now that we got it out of the way, let's get into why we're really here, which is to talk about F's Big Gay Brunch UK.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm excited. So to kind of give my initial thoughts before we get into the, the card and the things that itself, TNT Extreme Wrestling is fairly new to me. The only thing that I knew about it is the fact that Effy partners with them whenever they go to the UK from time to time. And the only other thing outside of Effy and Dark Sheik that I knew who I was going to know on this card was, of course, one of my personal faves, Miss Sunny Kiss. Love her to death. Fantastic. But then other than that, I was like, I have no idea what I'm about to get myself into, but I'm here for the experience. And yeah. So before we even get into the card, Betty, let's just talk about this venue, right? Because I was like, I was like, as soon as they started, I was like, oh, we have wrestling in nightclubs now? That's cool. I was just like, oh, this is going to be good. And then we had a full on, like, we didn't even get to our first match. The first 15 minutes of the show, which was like a whole medley by one of our lovely drag artists. And I was just like, oh, this is definitely a drag brunch now. Like, I was like, am I at a drag brunch? Like, what's happening? I love this.
Yeah, like I guess the performer's name was Gigi Inferno, and I thought she did a great job. And this is sort of like if you just like hear the name and like what you would think of a big gay brunch would be. Like it's It's in a dance hall. There's musical acts and a lot of fantastic performers. What a fun night of craps.
And I was just and you know what? The crowd was into it. I was like, "Good on you, Brits. Good on you. Y'all know how to have a good time." But once we got our performance out of the way, of course, our MC this also gave me very cabaret vibes. I was just like, "We are in a very intimate venue in this, like, darkly lit, like, nightclub. This is kinda crazy." I love
Mm.
this. But our MC let us know, be like, "Welcome to Effy's Big Gay Brunch UK," and we just jumped straight into the action because we kicked things off with our first match, of course, which saw, new to me, Mr. Adam Bolt taking on, one of my favorite peoples right now, and, of course, the owner of Hood Slam here in the States, Miss Dark Chic. I love Dark Chic
Mm.
so much. I was just like, she is doing great work, representing for everybody out here. And so also, very excited and having a great time to see Sheik because again, the way she presents herself in GCW is like a little more towards like, oh, she a hero. Here she was being a complete dick, and I loved it. I was like, she's just like, yeah, I really like this match. I was like, Adam Bolt, you look like every twink out there, and that is okay. But I was like, by the end of this match, I was like, you're still a twink, but you're a twink with graps, and I can appreciate that.
Yeah, is easily one of my favorite performers on the indies, has been for a while. And, like, she was definitely being a well, word we can't say it 12 minutes in, but she wears it on her shirt a lot, so
Like, I love it when she acts like a "See you next Tuesday."
exactly. And, like, one thing about Dark Sheik is that, like, she has, like, one of the best leg drops I've ever seen. Like, the Arabian leg drop that she did, like, from the outside to the inside. Oh, awesome. And I was also new to this Adam Bolt person, and what a beautiful O face he hit at the end.
I was about to say, I was just like, "Somebody's been watching Athena."
Yeah, right?
Oh, man. No, it was so much fun, but to what you were bringing up with Dark Sheik, there's just certain wrestlers that have I mean, these are like the basic foundations, right? Like everybody can do a leg drop if they, a leg drop kick, things like that. But there's just certain wrestlers where they make those moves look like the best thing on the planet. I mean, Dark Sheik's, leg drop, as you said, is just like, it's so, and on paper, it's like a basic maneuver that every wrestler should be able to do. But I'm just like, she makes it look so devastating. And it's, there's just certain wrestlers that make those simple moves look great. Like, Dark Sheik with the leg drop. I always bring up that Okada's drop kicks are like one of the most beautiful things I have ever seen. I was just like, how does that man do that for how tall he is and just make it look so effortless? But it's the same thing with Dark Sheik. I'm like, how do you make a drop? How do you make that leg drop, like, again, on paper, like Wrestling 101 move look like the most devastating thing? Oh, we just broke somebody's rib. Like, what happened?
Right?
So I was just like, "Oh, man, Dark Sheik, I love you. You're great." By the end of this, our lovable wrestling grat twink, Adam Bolt, does pick up the victory over Dark Sheik. I had a fun time with this opening bout, and I was just like, "You know what? This was a good introductory match to get everybody going, and I'm excited to see what happens next." So I was, again, I was feeling out the vibes. I was just like, "Okay, you know what? Dark Sheik opened up the show. Of course, we're probably going to get Effy to close it as we normally do with these two anytime they are on the same card." And I was like, alrighty then, what is going to be on our card next? So then we are informed that next up is our Pride Up Scramble match. So, anybody who is not used to GCW or scramble matches in general, a scramble match is basically like a multi person match. Usually, GCW uses them to, showcase talent and things like that. But here at Effy's Big Gay Brunch UK and TNT Extreme Wrestling, this was a six-person Pride Up Scramble where the winner of this match would get a lovely, bedazzled, and totally gay briefcase that looked like it got thrown up in, the pride flag colors, which we love. And basically, it was like the equivalent of, the Casino Gauntlet contract, the Money in the Bank briefcase. They get a championship match if they're choosing anywhere. And so we got our entrances of, some of our wrestlers, which included Ty Archer, Sky Smithson, Chantel Jordan, Aaron Steele, Tony Wright, and then because he decided to pull double duty, our twink we just saw not 5 minutes ago in the opening match is in this match too. And oh, I love you, my lesbians. I love you so much in wrestling. Like, and again, like I try to be very like PC when it comes to this reviews, but like, listen, We literally have a this is literally called Big A Brunch, so we're just going to make it as color coded as possible here. But you know what? I was just but all to say this, I say this joke and everything, but I was just like, I love these events like this because whether some I'll just put it like this. Some federations do a very good job of letting the wrestlers be true and be out to themselves, and that is, they can. Some we know, but they can't necessarily express it due to certain rules and guidelines. We're in the UK. This is Effy's Big Gay Brunch UK, and I'm just like everybody is just out here, and I'm just like I always love that Effy always makes sure that we get good representation with everybody that's always on this card, which we gonna get into in the next match when we can talk there. But I was like, yes, I love you, my lesbians. But yeah, back to the match itself. I love me a good scramble match. I really, really do. I'm just like, this is one of those cases where everyone gets a chance to be in the ring, show off their character, show off their moveset. I believe it was Ty Archer, who I think is probably my favorite. I'm like, oh, you just a big boy just out here just messing with people. And I'm kind of here for that. I also love that I love that Ty got into it with our girls and and just fighting with them too. I was just like, I love me a good intergender scramble match. Equal rights, equal fights. But Benny, what did you think of our Pride Up scramble?
To be honest with you, I love this. Like I'm always a big fan of match types that seem complicated on on paper, but then they're like, yeah, if you get a pin, you hold the briefcase. So the last person to pin anybody is the winner. Like, well, that's pretty simple, you know? And I thought everybody in this match really made each other look great. Like as you said, Ty Archer, he was clearly the big bad in the match, and he was really great. Like I'm really impressed by him. And I'll talk about it later. But Aiden Steen was the one that stuck out the most to me, who apparently is a deathmatch wrestler. And then
Be like, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
right? And I love that like his gear went from being magenta in Rocky Horror Picture Show, and then halfway through the match, he takes off the French maid outfit and he becomes Brad. So
It's like, oh, I love nonsense in my wrestling. And yeah. Anyways, continue.
yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Like I love silly nonsense as well. So this match was really good. What was her name? I was like, wow. I held down the fort in this match, and she didn't really like say outshine anybody, but like she's really good. I was really impressed with her all throughout the night. Actually,
Well, 100%. And again, a good scramble match did exactly what it needed to for this one. Everyone got a chance to shine. And to my pleasant surprise, our lovable twink with grabs, Adam Bolt, ends up winning this match and gets a future championship match. And then commentary let us know that this man hasn't had a win in like 2 years or something like that. I was just like, what? I was like,
oh, good
holy.
for you. Then.
That's what I
like
said. I was like, oh, good for you, Adam. I love this. And
he
I was just like, okay.
got two in a row. I don't know. You know what?
Be like, exactly.
Congrats.
Congrats, Adam. You beat Dark Sheik and you get this briefcase that gives you a championship match anytime, anywhere. Like, the fantastic. But everybody clears the ring. We are, resetting ourselves a little bit, and then we get into our third match, which I have to say, just from just the sheer amazingness that it is, and I want to get a rematch between these two at some point down the line. We get our TNT Ultra X Championship match, which our champion Shay Monet taking on the lovely Miss Sunny Kiss. This match was balling. First, let's talk about these outfits from both of them. It's just like, oh, Sunny never changed. I love this. Ultimately, Shay Monet would retain the championship, but we'll talk about the post stuff because that was a lot of fun too. But Benny, what did you think of our championship match here between Shay Monet and Sunny Kiss?
Yeah, actually, it's funny you say that, like, with like the butt smashing from Sunny Kiss. In my notes, it said Shade's getting a mouthful of Sunny, and that's
I
I love
love that so much.
I love a good pun. Hey, the crowd chant doing the D elite chant to Shay. This had some great moments tonight, and like Sonny is never ceases. Like I remember, like the first time I saw Shay Monet was like Effy's Big Gay Brunch 8, I think it was, against Dark Sheik, and they are a fully formed, fantastic wrestler. Like it just sucks with the way the world works that they couldn't find a way onto major TV, you know, because
Yeah.
they're ready.
I think they are too. And hopefully we will get to see them on television in some capacity. But, I think that's why it's also important too, and I will always get on my soapbox. I think it's always important too that, again, because we get to watch these international brands and these independent brands, I was just like, hopefully that leads to them going major wherever they're going to go. But it is important to support events like this because this introduces us to wrestlers who, you know, would be very good in, let's just call it what it is. I feel like they would thrive better in certain promotions than other ones. I mean, again, not to compare, but I don't care what nobody says. We literally have a queer coded theater kid in Dalton Castle on AEW television now. And I'm just like, and ROH television. I'm just like,
Yeah.
right. And I was just like, it's deceptively so. I was like, I forget how strong Sunny is and how
Mm.
much she can lift people up.
Yeah. Well, with the Dalton thing, like he even wears a rainbow on his trunks. So good on him. More
One
representation.
100%. Again, Shay Monet does retain the championship. And that Sunny tried to get them to be involved in like the after like twerk fest. But Shay was like, nah, we're not gonna do that, and just leaves. And you know what? I love the crowd was like, boo, how dare you deny us a twerk? But oh man, by the end of this match though, I was just like, I would love to see them give me a rematch between these two down the line because this was good. This was really solid stuff. And again, if y'all want to see these matches, like it's on Triller, 7.99 a month, like, or even 7-day free trial. Watch it. All the independents, international stuff like Progress, and everything's on here too. So yeah, I definitely would highly recommend people be like, I need y'all to watch this match because this is good. So we get a brief intermission, and then when we come back, we get another performance for our lovely drag artist of the evening. And I was just like, we still got like an hour of the show and we got 2 matches left. I forgot. I was like, wait, what's gonna happen next? And then our MC gets on the mic, it's like, and now it is time for the Rainbow Rumble. I'm like, oh, I forgot we're getting a battle royale style right now. And I was just
Yeah.
like, so I was like, oh boy, give me all the characters. I was just like, you are a queer icon in this community. I don't care. Literally, Tim Curry is the best, like for reals.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But literally in this match, Benny, like there was just like, I don't understand how we got all these characters. We had a slutty mankind. We had gay rockers. I was just like, what is happening right now?
No, right?
I was like, I feel like I'm on acid. So this feels like the Disney parade, but like for this event. And I was like, oh my, I say all this and anyone who's familiar with Saturday Night Live, like the way I describe these characters, I felt like I was embodying Stefan from Saturday Night Live. It's like, okay, okay, okay. It has everything. It has game. It has gay rockers. It has lesbians. It's like it's a dimly knit like caca. Ooh, I was like, this feels like a Stefan skit on acid.
I love that Aiden Steen came out twice.
And here's the thing too, like I know this event was Effie's Big Gay Brunch, but I was like, this was amalgamation of everything. When we get to our next match, we had a hardcore GCW rules types of match. We had like mystery wrestling comedy spots, and like this felt like this match in particular with all the characters. I'm like, am I on the right event? I feel like I'm watching mystery wrestling.
Yeah,
So,
right?
but it's a good thing. Listen, I'm just saying, I don't know if they would ever do it, but hey, Evil Uno, Effie, y'all need to collab together. Give us a mystery wrestling versus like Big Gay Brunch like crossover event. I'm here for it.
Oh man, that's amazing. Sign me up for that.
But back to this match, I was just like, all these characters came out. Like you said, we had somebody come out twice. I was just like, what? But I had a blast with this. Like, this was just pure stupid fun. I loved it.
It really was, like and then, like, I've heard the name Holly Hudson, but I've never seen her work.
Oh, I love her so much. And like, you know what? My big thing is that I love her, and I mean she's signed with TNA, but she of course is allowed to, like Leon Slater, come back over, wrestle in the UK, and then come over for the tapings in TNA. It's her and another UK wrestler called Mila Grace too. They're both young. And then when I find out that Holly is like not even cracking, like she's below the age of like 23, I'm mad that you're this good, this young of an
Yeah.
age. I don't know what's going. Okay, I wanna take a side conversation real quick, and then we'll get back to the winner of the Rainbow Rumble, right? I don't know what's going on in the UK right now, but there is something in the water where these kids, yes, I'm calling them kids, because your top names and, like, some amazing wrestlers going on right now in the UK scene are all under the age of 25. Like, I don't know what's going on in the UK. I don't know if it's whatever they're feeding them, like, what's in the water. Is it the healthcare? Like, I don't know what's going on, but, like, Mila Grace, Harley Hudson, Leon Slater, Michael Oku. I was just like, how are y'all like not even super old yet? You are all youngins in my book, and I could say that because I'm 32. But I was just like, there's something in the water where the UK wrestlers are kind of just showing up and showing out, and I was just like, oh, well, and then we even get look over, like, even in our promotions right now in the States, like, Alex Windsor is a fully realized person. She's like, she's ready for TV, which is, why. She's been on TV a lot. The UK scene right now is kind of crazy. And I'm kind of happy as much as I was sad because I really loved NXT UK. I'm kind of glad it shut down because then it allowed the UK wrestlers to kind of go back and build the UK wrestling scene back up.
Yeah.
And now we have, of course, we got our mainstays like, Samuels, Rio, Nina Samuels, Kanji, but now the new kids are up and coming too, and they're just as crazy. And I'm like, I love UK wrestling. That's all I have to say. I love the UK wrestling scene, man. Like, I don't know what's going on, but they just had such a resurgence. And it kind of showed here in this event too. I was like, there's a lot of new names, but everybody looks so great. I'm excited to see what comes out of the UK. But back
Hmm.
to this match.
Yeah,
This was
even
wild.
even names that I did recognize, like Session Moth Martina. I haven't seen her for a while, and because I don't watch that much UK-based wrestling, and, like, she comes out and, like, they poke fun of the like, what was it, like Rhea Ripley, like, giving the stink face to, like, a bunch of people, and then, like, Shayna Baszler's like, "Come on, give it to me," and then, like, hilarious.
Again, this was just a fun match, and, like, I was like, "I love all these characters," and to our loveliness, we had our lovely queer rocker, Scotty Rock wins. Literally, your name is Scotty Rock, like, come on now. Like, what are we doing with this? I love it so freaking much, man. Oh my goodness, but Scotty ends up being your winner for the Rainbow Rumble, and this was a lot of fun, which then leads us into, well, the main event. And again, this show had everything. We had drag performances, we had comedy spots, we had good wrestling, but of course, it wouldn't be a GCW presents Effy's Big Gay Brunch without some sort of death match. And that is exactly what we got in this main event, which of course saw the team of course, I'm familiar with him from Progress Wrestling, Tate Mayfairs and Leonardo Darwin teaming up against Effy. And Effy's like, okay, I have a mystery partner and y'all aren't ready for this. So Tate Mayfairs and Leonardo Darwin had to contend with the team of Effy and crazy deathmatch wrestler himself, Drew Parker. And I was just like, oh, this is about to be crazy. And crazy it was. I'm just like, oh no. I was just like, I'm sorry, Tate and Leonardo. It's about to get crazy. Also, by the way, happy to see Effie back because I know he's been off for a couple weeks trying to, make sure that that knee doesn't get crazily tweaked because, again, him and Shotzi were supposed to have a match at Homecoming Los Angeles, but, if he was resting up because I'm like, no, don't hurt yourself. I don't want you to vacate this title. And I was like, all right, Effie, like, it seems we're okay now. We're good to go. I had fun in this match. This was good. This is literally everything I know GCW is. I was like, we're bleeding, so I'm entertained. I was like, are you not entertained? But Benny, what did you think of our main event?
I thought it was hilarious and at points, and I was just thinking, Drew Parker, the guy with the staple gun from GCW,
So
or
Drew
like,
Parker, yeah, so Drew Parker has two weapons of choice most of the time. He's either using the staple gun or, depending on the rules and where they're at, darts are also his thing.
hey, yeah, that's what I thought. It took like I watched this whole match and was like, I have no idea who this guy is until I came on here and you were like, oh, that guy from it just like made the
Yes.
connection, you know?
So Drew Parker, anytime he's in a death match, darts are usually either the thing that he uses as the weapon or his enemy. He always does the spot lately with the darts going through like the side of his cheek. So I was just like, the last time I saw Drew was there has been a couple of times. I seen Drew over the summer and now he's kind of coming back for the fall, but he teamed up with Emerson Jane at Hit 'em Up in that death match, which was crazy. And then his match in Japan, when they GCW went to Japan, they were probably some of my favorites. But anyways. But yeah, so Drew Parker and Effie teaming up against Tate and Leo here, but I had
Yeah,
fun. This is great.
I thought Leonardo Darwin was pretty alright, like, gorgeous,
Wait,
but,
hold up.
I like his, convictions and, or not a conviction, but, like, his the way he oh, what's the word? It doesn't matter.
All
But,
we
like,
know is that Benny got lost in Darwin, and you know what? That is okay.
Bye,
And Benny,
bye, Poppy.
you know, Ro
man, I love it so much.
there was just one point where, like and the commentary is like, "Effy's back," and I'm like, "When did he leave?" Like, I hadn't noticed he wasn't on the ring apron.
I love this commentary team too. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, this commentary team was great.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because like, one of the guys was, like, fighting his urge, like, all night long.
I was just like, he was trying not to get tried not to get the event canceled on Triller. Man,
Fantastic.
yeah, this match was so much fun. Effy and Drew would end up beating Tate and bringing a close to Effy's Big Gay Brunch UK, and I was just like, this was a grand time. I had a blast with this one, and you know what? I was just like, whenever, and it's the funny thing too is because like recently Effy has gone on, his podcast that he has and records and stated just like, you know what? This was technically supposed to just be like a one-off thing. I wasn't supposed to do like 9, 10 iterations of this. It was just supposed to be a one-off, but because it's uber popular, and Effie's like, originally wasn't sure if I wanted to bring it back for many iterations, but it's 2025, and it's kind of like the world is crazy right now. So we kind of feel like he's like, I have an obligation to kind of have to, you know what I mean? Which this is why, again, here at BC Wrestle Pod, we watch a lot of wrestling, both here in the States, which includes our major feds and our independent promotions. And then we also cover a lot of international stuff here too, from Mexico to Japan to Europe. And that's not even taking into account like all the other promotions that we have not that we don't cover, at least not yet. I'm 2026. I'm gonna look into, do we want to do Rev Pro UK too? Why not? But Rev Pro is fantastic. Andrew, I'm mad at you, but I love Rev Pro now too. I was like, fine, I guess I'll sign up for Rev Pro on demand. Like, but the point being is like we have all that, but then we have these very specialty events too. Like, of course, at the end in CMLL in Mexico at the end of this month, the three of us who cover CMLL are excited because this is our second year covering CMLL. But we get the Women's Grand Prix in CMLL. So it's that whole entire show is nothing but women's action. So it's just like, and then when we get to, so that's a specialty show. And then this is specialty because all the wrestlers on the show are either allies or part of the community, which you think wrestling is not as crazy as regular sports because regular sports for the longest time has had a toxicity to it where you couldn't, like players who, were part of the community can't necessarily be out because of brand deals and everything.
Yeah.
But it's 2025, and given the climate here in the States, I was just like, it's important that we have and review these kinds of events because the world is nuts. And yeah, it would be a disservice for us to use our platform here to not, cover these events when we can. And obviously, I'm a big fan of Effy. We're big fans of Effy. And
He's our king.
yes, he is our king, him and his fishnets and all. But I am going to make it an effort. I mean, I said this back in April when we reviewed the first Big Gay Brunch here on the channel. I'm just like, every time that we can, we're going to always cover a Big Gay Brunch because it is important to our platform. It would be a disservice not to. And it's always a hell of a lot of fun. And also, it's really, really fun to get more people to see the wackiness that is too. Like, I had a blast with this show. And you know what? Yeah, it's early in the morning. I don't want to get on my soapbox too early, but like
Exactly. This event was super, super fun. I was just gonna say that Gigi Inferno, I thought she did a really great job of entertaining the crowd. There was this one point where like they just kept playing the chorus to Sweet Dreams and she's like, again?
she played into it,
Like,
loved it.
I guess I'll go with it, but it was fantastic. And they weren't giving her much at first, but she won him over by the end. And that's the magic of pro wrestling.
100%. But yeah, this was like a 2.5 hour event, but this was such a fun time. I had a really fun time with this one. And you know what? I was just like, good on Effy for bringing this everywhere that he can. Like, I loved it. This was a fun palate cleanser outside of, again, because I watched this last weekend, and as we all know, last weekend was packed with lots of wrestling. And I'm still not going to be. Thankfully, well, this upcoming week, things kind of slow down a little bit, but then next weekend, I was like, damn, we got Wrestle Dream and Bound for Glory for TNA. Oh, hell, here we go again. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, you
But
mean the number next apparent to number 2?
I was just
What
like,
did I just say?
I was like, You know what? I was like, I'm not mad at you, Santino, because you provide me with entertainment, and even behind the character, you are a lovely human being as well. So I fucks with you. Anyways, but that's gonna be it for us here at Effie's Big Gay Brunch UK. Benny, thank you so much for being here with me this morning. I mean, it's closer to the beginning of the afternoon for you,
Mm.
and I will be here for the next 2 hours doing two other. Hey, but you know what? It's important because you know what? These
Mm.
things are important. And I will be back in literally in 15 minutes. I will be the next review up is going to be Progress's, event, which happened the following day because the UK just had a bunch of wrestling last weekend and everything coincided. So I have checked off my first one of Effie's Big Gay Brunch UK. I will be back in 15 minutes to review chapter 185 of Progress Wrestling, Camden Lockup, in which I'm going to discuss, we have a new design belt for our men's champion. The Black Swan has officially turned heel. Simon Miller don't take no shit from internet trolls. And in our main event, we had a banger of a loser leaves Progress match. Who ended up leaving Progress? Tune in to my review in 15 minutes to find all that and much, much more. But we got to get up on out of here. So thank you so much for tuning in with us this morning for Effie's Big Gay Brunch UK review. From myself and Benny and the rest of the BC Wrestle Pod family, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay Bi-Conic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. I'll see you in about 15 minutes, but until then, this is us. And until next time,
thank you so much for tuning in to another Vibe Tribe production. What's gonna happen next time? Well, you're gonna have to tune in to find out. But until then, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, make sure that you keep the good times rolling. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.